Welcome to That Range Life Gear Talk. We are going to talk about this right here. This is the SX550 GPS unit. You ready to do the thing?
Let's do the thing.
Do the thing.
Welcome back to the newest installment of That Range Life Gear Talk.
Gear Talk.
Here on Chris McEwen's YouTube channel.
Ooh.
There's a throwback bit if you watched That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf. Yes, we're trying a new format to talk specifically about golf gear and give you guys a better look focused just on the gear. You don't have to work your way through an hour-long program about random topics, sometimes golf, sometimes not.
Right.
So today we have a very specific piece of gear that we're going to talk about that both of us use. Tell us about it, Chris. What do we got here?
This is the SkyCaddie SX550. Now, we have used previous iterations, give or take, of this. Like you used a different, it was a smaller one, right? It was like
I think it's the SX400.
400, right.
And SX might be wrong, but 400's right.
Yeah, right. And I had the SX500, right, which is much more comparable. Here, you hold that one.
I'm happy to.
And this is the 550. So this is the newest generation of that old thing right there. Now, what's the difference? That's the biggest thing, right? So, well, I'll start with this. Both of these come with a subscription. Right? It's an annual thing. It's not just you buy this and you have this. Now, when you first buy it, it will come with a year subscription to the service.
I believe stock, yes. And I think you can purchase upgrades.
You can, right. And the upgrades are like things like, I think the greens are a little different. You get some greens, but then you also get like a golf magazine subscription. You get some, you get some additional things, whatever. There's a couple different packages. But let's just talk about what's different between this and that and this, right? So the biggest here's, I mean, if you saw the unboxing, I kind of covered some of this stuff, but
that'll be linked below.
It will be, yeah, or in the box. We do a box up here, yeah. It's a little slimmer, so this is much more. This has the feeling of an iPhone, if you will, compared to that guy. The screen is also bigger comparatively, so you can see it goes kind of almost full screen here with compared to that one right there. That's a good.
Is that what they call a bezel? The bezel's a little? Okay.
Yeah. It kind of fills out.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's a little brighter, so the screen is improved. Now here's I mean, it's a GPS unit, right? So you have a couple different views here. You can do your drag there where you can see the difference in distances and things to kind of hazards and things like that. There's also this other view where it'll just kind of give you some base sort of distances, 230 to 290, if you want just a quick look. And now as you get closer to the green, it will give you an approach view as well. So you will be able to see kind of a very sort of, it's not going to be super exact in terms of the green undulation, but it's going to give you some shading to know where the greens are, kind of, you know, whatever. There's some depth to it or whatever. Same thing as the 500. They did that too. It's a little more improved with the 550 for sure.
Okay.
Now, something that the biggest things that I've noticed between the two, besides just the size of it is really nice. The screen size is better. There's one little thing. If you can show the bottom of yours,
it's not insignificant.
It's totally, it's really not. So it's something that was, when I reviewed the 500, it was a little annoying to me. So,
I'll put my mic down for this.
Okay, yeah. So that's a USB mini port. Okay, but the difference, the challenge there is that it's a very specific depth. So not any USB mini would work. Right. So you have to use the one that comes with that unit. So that means if you lose that one, that's going to be a problem. Now, with this one at the very top, I'm not going to do the mic thing, whatever. This is a USB-C plug. and you can use any USB-C plug that you want that you have laying around the house. And at this point,
no, I lost mine.
Right, not an issue any longer.
I'll just go over to Staples, Target, Walmart.
You can go and find one that's laying around your house. Like I have many laying around the house. It'll work. You can plug it in and you can go and you can still charge it. So that's great. The other thing too is that it's got a wireless capability. So you can track your scores in here. You can track some stats. You can track distances and things like that. It's not automatic. It is manual, but you can do that and you can upload it wirelessly to the website. And you can go and see all of your statistics. So that's pretty cool. And then the only other really difference is kind of the battery life. Of course, batteries keep getting better and better. So that's also a very nice little...
So I have one of these too, and I will say it's shocking. The first time I used it was with our good friend Adam Unfiltered. And it was after work one day, twilight, and we just played basically till the sun went down. I think we played over 18 holes. When we were done, and the lights don't go off on these things. Like I think I commented to you where I was griping about, I'd like to just like turn it off like my iPhone, and you're like, well, why? That's not what it's for. And if you think about it, one of the things I think you said it. These come with a you can get a cart mount for this, and you strap it up to or that's a bad word. You latch it up to your cart, and it's now a like group commodity. So you don't need the lights going off on it. So the thing's going for the whole 4 or 5 hours you're playing golf, hopefully not 6. And shout out pace of play debate. And I'm like, man, this thing had to suck a ton. Think of your iPhone. If you had the screen on for 8 hours, how bad that's going to suck up the battery. It won't even make it. Right. I was down I think I was at 72% after we were done, and with the screen on the whole time in the SX550.
Yeah, I mean, here's a good view of a green. You can do approach and see sort of, it gives you the sort of depth of the green, so it's 18 yards long or 15 yards wide, whatever. It gives you some of the undulation idea of what the green is doing. But you know how I love to go on these golf trips where we play 36 holes.
If there's one thing everyone says about you, you love to go on those golf trips.
And so you can, it is a sort of, so one, you can have this, you can set it up to have it dim by itself after a certain time, whatever. My setting is always on.
Always, like your life.
It's true.
Setting is always on.
Just like my personality.
Yeah.
Always on.
Always on.
But the reason for that is because the person that's also sitting in your cart can then use it as well. So I'll drop you off at your ball, give you the distance. I'll drive to mine to wait for my shot, pace of play, debate, right? And I can still use this. And I feel like that's kind of what it is. It's like a social aspect of the golf. Everybody uses this thing, and it's really cool, especially with that mount that you can attach it to. I mean, for a Gear Talk, it's a pretty simple. It's a GPS unit. You turn it on. It connects to satellites, and that's it.
I feel like in the non-watch GPS device game right now, that used to be like the GPS market, and then I don't know what smartwatch is probably where the death of it, but I don't wear a smartwatch. I don't like wearing even a GPS watch. I wear one when I golf begrudgingly, which is terrible because I was like, I'm a rangefinder guy, not a GPS watch guy. Here's the problem, Chris. I'm now a watch and a rangefinder guy, and it's horrible. And I'm like, well, I don't have my GPS watch. I'm screwed. But it's nice with these. Yeah. They look better. You get a great visual on it. And I think that's the big thing for me is that visual so good. And I think of all the and I'm honestly saying this, all the GPS devices, handheld devices I've ever used, these SkyCaddie devices always have the best graphics. They look fantastic. Yeah. I think the and this is dead accurate official total number of stored courses in it around the world is somewhere around 2.6 million. So they have that many courses stored in there. You can bring it all over the world and get these high definition, vivid graphics anywhere on the course.
Now, someone may ask you, Bill.
Yeah.
I can do this on my phone, right? But there's a difference.
Oh, I know what you're going to say here, and that's a great point.
One is maybe I don't want to use my phone. Right? You have battery issues.
I don't want to.
Whatever.
I have an Apple iPhone. You know that battery, even without using it, is only good for an hour.
Right. Now, the biggest difference is the way that they map these courses, right? Is that
I almost think we weren't going to talk about this, but this is probably the SkyGolf for all the bigger company, the SkyGolf difference. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the way that a GPS app on your phone works. They're using Google Earth or something, and they're just kind of giving you a rough estimate. They're going to say, this is the distance. They're doing some maths and behind-the-scenes computer stuff.
Algorithms.
Yeah, and they're saying this is how far it is. SkyCaddie, SkyGolf, they have actual humans.
Human beings.
Walking golf courses and mapping them out. Basically, essentially manually.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So every distance, every hazard. That's why they can give you some green detail on these, because they have people walking golf courses,
taking notes.
Yep.
Just like, I mean, when you watch the pros, right, and they talk about, the caddies get there early so they can walk a course and write notes in their yardage books, blah 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 blah. That's what the SkyGolf ambassador, advocate, whatever what do they call them? I don't know what they call them.
Course walkers?
No, I think they call them like sky caddies or something like that. They give them a very specific name in the marketing materials that I should be aware of, and I'm not. I'm sorry, SkyGolf. But yeah, they send these guys out to take very detailed notes, and sometimes that means like, hey, this fescue expanded further, and it's little finer details. That's not an insignificant thing. And we've played some of these goat tracks that you and I tend to play. And it's like, I'm looking on my device here, and that thing over there doesn't exist. Come back a year later, well, with them, it might. Or whatever time frame, you know? But that's another thing. Like, Chris, I haven't played this course in 10 years, and that's the last time I saw it on my device. Has something changed?
Right.
They regularly send their guys out to update courses in the area, or at least verify that nothing has changed. And if they have, they get someone out there and update their maps.
Yeah, it's great. So that's really, that's the biggest difference, I feel like, is just the accuracy of the maps, honestly.
I'll just say this. I'm not going to name names. I have used another GPS device recently, and over 2 rounds, I noticed, my numbers aren't adding up, and my distances have been way off. And it's been with a rangefinder. Yeah. And what was the cause of that? I don't know. But what I can say is I've never found that issue where it's like I step up to a tee box, look at my, whether it's a SkyCaddie watch or this device, and go, okay, the number is 160 to the center of the green. And I shoot the flag, 160. That flag's at 160 in the middle of the green. Like, yeah, it's dead on.
Or how many times have you been using a phone app and you hit a ball and you're like, well, that...
Can I give you the honest answer? To be fair, never, because the phone apps literally have never been good. And it's like, there's nothing worse than when you get paired with somebody and they're like, oh, I'm just doing it on my phone. I'm like, oh, God, no, please don't. Yeah. Do you want... Here, you can just have my GPS device for the day. And I'll probably forget I loaned it to you. And you look, it's all yours. Right. $400, all yours.
You can renew the annual subscription under my name. It's fine.
That's fine. You know, I'll cover that for you too while I'm at it. I deserve this.
But that's it for Gear Talk. I feel like the SX550. Just a top notch, probably best in the market.
I think they are. Yeah. In terms of handheld devices, all right, let's be honest. SX500, I feel like as we're talking about it, we're almost being disparaging about it. This thing treated you well.
Let me look at the back of it. It's all worn.
Well, hang on. What is this feature?
Oh, the SX500 did have a camera built into it. This one does not have a camera built into it.
Here's my question. How did I just do that? Anyway, so there's something that, in a way, not carrying that on board is helpful, I think, in that device. Yeah. But point being, this thing was really, really, really good. Yeah. I think that one's really, really good too, and better. And these guys have been making really good stuff for quite some time. And when I launched DriveRangeHeroes.com, Chris, let's just say I knew some people there. They were really great, treated me well, and it was nice, a foot in the door. But it got to that point where it's not just that they were willing to work with me. This is what I wanted.
Right.
This is what I wanted to have in my bag, and SX550 has been fantastic for both of us this year.
Yeah, it's been a good device. I used it all season.
Yep.
And really love this. Is the other view that you can see where it just gives you the yardage. So if you don't like, I can tell you that the first time that I used this one actually, it was a bit of data overload. Like, what am I looking at? And you get accustomed to it. But if you just want simplistic sort of what are my numbers, it's got that too.
Yeah.
So that's it. That range life, gear talk.
If you want, you can read a review of it at driverangeheroes.com as well.
Is there a link I can put in the description?
It turns out there is.
There's probably a link in the description.
All right. There it is in the books. Another gear talk here in the new form of gear talk.
I like it.
Chris, thanks for joining me in my garage and talking golf gear.
I feel warmer now, actually. Started doing the show.
Little do you know, this is just what I do for fun. Like, my friends come by, I'm like, come on in the garage. As you can see, there's golf gear everywhere. Let's just talk golf gear. Except with you, I record it and put it on YouTube.
Are we recording it?
I mean, that's questionable with us at all times.
What should we? Is there a call to action to have?
We didn't do that this time around, did we? Yeah, go down. Yeah, maybe. I think we did. Go down below, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you know every time a gear talk video, a show sometimes about golf. Of course, all the things we're doing. God knows what will. There's some things in the work. Hey, shocking. Stop me if you heard this before. There's some things in the works for the winter because it's going to be miserably boring in the Chicagoland area. You want to get notified when those come up. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. Leave a comment below. If you use an SX550, tell us your experience.
That we didn't answer.
Which is probably a very probable thing. Yeah.
Very possible. We do have, as new equipment comes out, you're going to want to get notifications of some gear talks. We're coming into kind of gear release season here.
We really are. And we think we're starting to get despite what the show may indicate, we're getting a feel for it, and we're looking forward to doing more of these. So that's Gear Talk. At Chris McHugh on all social medias. I'm at Range Heroes. Twitter, Instagram, do the thing. All right. We'll see you next time in the next Gear Talk.